What was originally thought to be a joke of a faction turned out to be a very real and surprisingly unique crew of degenerate Canadian revolutionaries. Despite looking like airsofter reskins of the WPMCs with stolen equipment from Postscriptum and the CAF, the community has welcomed this ragtag independent team as the game's premier guerrilla entity to fight for the 51st state. For this video, I will provide an overview of the Canadian Resistance Forces, then weigh the unit's pros and cons to determine their overall strengths and weaknesses. Citing squad developers directly, the Canadian Resistance Forces is a minor faction that represents an irregular independent faction for the North American biome. They make use of a mix of civilian and captured military equipment and lack wider access to grenades and fully automatic weapons compared to other factions. In-game, CRF are distinguished by their typical combination of jeans and plaid shirts, with modern military gear and uniform pieces, as well as by their yellow armbands, while their vehicles are recognizable by a custom geometric woodland camo paint. In terms of map variety, the Resistance is currently the weakest amongst all others, as they can only deploy to two maps in Canada, Goose Bay and Manicouagan. Being an independent team, they have the ability to oppose every adversary except those restricted to the Middle East and Europe. For unit variety, the CRF are currently the weakest, as they only have one combined arms unit, the 51st Wolverine Battalion. Their default battle group deploys two M113 tracked APCs, two tow Humvees, two Coyote recon vehicles, and 5 ultralight quad bikes, in addition to a handful of logistics and transport assets. Do not let their speed-softer appearance fool you, and though their weaponry is old-fashioned, many of these rebels come to the field with unexpected potential. To start, every member of this unorthodox crew packs a sidearm, many of which come equipped with extended magazines to ensure maximum lethality at point-blank range. They have got so many types of rifles to choose from for primary weapons, anything from ARs to bolt actions across an impressive 7 squad leader kits and 8 rifleman loadouts. Speaking of SLs, each gets not 1, not 2, but 3 rallies to burn through before needing to rearm. And when they do finally need to grab some more, they are only 30 ammo points each, 20 points cheaper than any other team. Combine this capability with their M203 SL loadout, and you basically got one-man armies running around out there. Close quarters is of course where this unit becomes scary. Several kits equip fully automatic sidearms in the form of G18s, complete with extended mags. Not accurate at all, but fully capable of a quick spray and pray. Short-barreled rifles with EXPS holographic optics, access to the Raider roll with extra frags. There's just a lot of damage they can deal when crossing into their controlled territory. Ranged engagements are dangerous too. CRF squads have a direct combat marksman sporting a retro Lee Enfield, but most impressive is that their snipers got their hands on the goated Timberwolf with ridiculous variable zoom optics. Whether it is actually used for memes or mayhem, the sapper kits carry a demolition charge unlike any other, the Bangerite trademark explosive that explodes from being fired upon. This bad boy isn't just fun to try out, it's super strong and adds a totally new capability to guerrilla warfighting, which pairs well with another very OP tool, the Scout Rolls handheld drone that has a 4-minute battery life to enable some really sneaky recon missions and forward observations. Keep in mind, however, that rearming one of these costs a whopping 250 points. Swole Canucks carry copious amounts of bullets. Auto riflemen have 200 round drums, and the MG kit holsters a second rifle as a backup to the already monstrous C6 medium machine gun. Also heavily armed, the battalion's hat kits have multiple rockets for the Carl Gustav AT launcher they stole from the CAF. complete with 2x optic. As for team-wide perks, Command can also deploy a handheld drone to call in mortar barrages with, and CC abilities are available within the proximity of lighter Vics, such as common with other unconventional factions. Just like how Habs are cheaper to build, their combined arms unit reaps the rewards of the Independent Alliance, and get to share rallies with other squads, the Buddy Rally. Plus, they have access to intelligence on the enemy, which reveals vehicle respawn timers. As for mobility, the CRF takes advantage of high-speed lighter assets to solidify their haste and discretion. Unarmed transport vehicles keep the force on the go while only being slightly protected from gunfire. The best use for these agile transports is to get somewhere relevant quickly and keep them nearby for a cheeky resupply or squad reposition. If needing to urgently move a fire team across the AO, quad bikes have been procured to quickly glide over the terrain, complete with a small reserve of ammunition on board. Their armored shining star, however, is the Canadian proprietary Coyote reconnaissance vehicle, functioning as a lighter IFV, ideal for rapid all-terrain scouting when protection against lats and hats is required. Another advantage worth mentioning is that, if used correctly, the unit asset pool is arranged to enable the true combined arms symbiotic relationship by allowing the tracked M113s to spearhead objectives, whilst lighter wheeled Vics attack a flank during the distraction. Capabilities of the Rebellion are not without some serious downsides, however. Firstly, bolt action and semi-automatic weapons are good enough for the seasoned sharpshooter, but greatly reduce the team's ability to spam rounds downrange. Their crewmen are heavily advised to live by the motto, death before dismount, as they do not even carry backup rifles whilst operating vehicles. The CRF will surely spend many firefights guessing if their kills are confirmed or not, because the majority lack ranged optics of any kind. Enemy armor is of the utmost threat to the force's ground infantry, as standard lat kits are only issued one measly rocket for their launcher that does not even come with a ranged optic. Finally, if the unit lingers in one place for too long, conventional enemies are sure to spot them with UAVs and decimate their cause with superior airborne warheads. Most notably, a severe lack of modern assets is what keeps the CRF from competing in the big leagues. Only deploying one type of tracked APC and a handful of lightly armored wheeled assets, they hardly stand a chance when being overwhelmed by advanced infantry fighting vehicles. The armor they do decide to bring to the front lines are at great risk of being one-tapped by hostile MPTs, since the Resistance was not able to procure any tanks for themselves. They have also got to keep an eye on the sky, as they have nothing to counter Op-4 cast with and will not be capable of transporting cargo via aerial equipment. Lacking armored ATGM launchers, missile fires will really need to be planned well to avoid being spotted and taken out immediately after firing. Lastly, their blue jeans are not waterproof, and the entire force is completely incapable of crossing the Canadian waterways since amphibious features are not present in their vehicles. All things considered, the 51st Wolverine Battalion does have a place in the modern battlefield should they find themselves gainfully employed given their unique strengths. There ain't a damn bit of terrain that can conceal their poor choices of outfits, but bunkering down in urban areas and hiding in patches of frosty shrubs, they will be able to catch hostiles off guard. Recon, recon, recon. The Resistance thrives by taking the time to scout out objectives and send QRFs of AT and CQB teams to deal with specific threats. When it comes down to it, success of the CRF depends on winning gunfights well dismounted and exercising methodical light infantry tactics. Every one of these members who volunteered to fight against the powers that be knew they were signing up for a challenge. Where other factions came prepared to blend in with foliage and bring armor to unprotected areas, the CRF hardly stands a chance out in the open or when near a coastline with littoral enemies advancing. At the end of the day, it is going to take a cohesive group of revolutionaries to strategize against the sheer firepower of fully funded conventional forces and their vastly superior heavily armored battle groups.